Well, every Monday morning on the show, we try and give exposure to local authors doing work in publishing books. We now turn our attention to one of the latest books out on our shelves. The book is called The Crisis of Authority, Workforce Tensions, a Desperate Call for Intervention, and it's a call to awakening. Well, a manager troubled by the current state of public service who believes change wrote this book. The Crisis of Authority, Workforce Tensions, a Desperate Call for Intervention, is a call to awakening. I have a copy with me, Myrah Mashigo Tshabalala. She is the author of this book. I've got a copy in front of me there. It's a real monster, Myrah. I guess my first question is, why is this important to you, and what kind of research went into it?
Sure. I think I must first kick off by saying I'm a public servant myself. And public service, the state of the public service is in disarray, and there is agreement on that issue. And as a public servant, and a manager for that matter, I'm bound to be perturbed. So out of that worry grew curiosity as to how can one contribute towards the betterment of the public service.
What are a lot of the problems that you've seen with management in the public service?
I have grouped them under our thoughts, the words, our practices, our attitudes, behavior, the decisions that we take as managers. Impact on how we manage, impact on the outcome, which unfortunately is delivery service.
I guess what I've also seen in the book is how you focus on how management affects your other workers as well, your subordinates, in terms of motivation, in terms of building up their esteem. Would you say that that's something that is critical in the sort of public service framework?
Yes, sir. Out of the research that I have done, I have picked up the key problem, which is these tensions. And they emanate from way back. They have continued consistently, I think, up to where the workforce is no longer able to take anything more beyond this line.
Looking at sort of some of the major themes through the book, you look at the world of employment, public service, and its distinctiveness. What makes public service so distinctive?
This is mainly directed to the public itself. The public needs to understand that public service is unlike business. Public service is more like a calling. Public service has got its own issues. As much as we don't want to make those issues for the public, but they affect them. Issues like shortage of staff, issues like shortage of skills. The public don't want to know anything about those. They just want service, quality service to be delivered. Those are our issues which we need to deal with.
A lot of these issues are also in the private sector. You can be assured of that. You know that. You're looking at values and ethical environment. There are problems, obviously, in the private sector as well.
Yes, I very much agree with you.
Obviously, looking also, job descriptions, utilization of employees, all of these things lead to such a sort of a lack of understanding in the public service.
There is more of, yes, lack of understanding is one of it, but non-compliance to policies, legislation, and the Constitution itself are the key issues.
Do you end off on a positive note, looking at the solutions and what those solutions are?
I've developed a tool which I call a mirror. That one is in chapter 7. Where I'm appealing for all of us, all stakeholders, managers, users, deliverers as well, to look into this mirror. You can quickly browse.
Yeah.
At the end, there are images there. This chapter appeals to our conscience. We need to look at the mirror, see ourselves, see what we see on us. This chapter is about introspection, reflection, self-assessment, self-development.
There's some fantastic illustrations. Obviously, do not value contribution by subordinates. What on earth is this? No, 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 this is hopeless. I'll do it myself. It's because am I white or what? Do you think there are a lot of racial tensions within some of these illustrations?
Yes, my mini research did pick up issues around racism, victimization, people being marginalized, underutilized. Those are the key issues. Lack of respect, corruption. They're all picked up in the research.
I mean, they're two very different issues. Obviously, corruption is a whole another ballgame. In terms of what kind of personal experiences have you had working in the public service sort of framework?
Thanks for that question. It is important that people read this book properly, from outside, inside, all the pages, particularly the page on definitions, how I understand some of the words in this book and how they are described. The book so far comes out as though I'm preferring one stakeholder over the other, which is the workers over the managers. That is not the case. There is issues about our thoughts, words, practices, behavior, attitudes, decision-making that are destructive, and they cascade down and impact on the public who are the users of the services in the public sector.
The problem, I guess, with a lot of the public service workers is education. I mean, they haven't been educated and brought up with that notion of being ethical and being productive and being efficient. Do you cover that issue in your book? I mean, they just don't have that mindset of wanting to help.
Yes. It's
just a salary at the end of the month.
It's pretty well covered, but that goes with proper, constant monitoring and evaluation as well. Unless we start monitoring at the top, bad things cascade downwardly.
Myrah, where can people get themselves a copy of the book? Is it online? Is it an ebook, or is it just in the hard copy?
Unfortunately, the book is online.
Okay.
And the ebook is available as well.
Okay. Where can they get that? On which sites?
Almost all online bookshops.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your book, The Crisis of Authority, Workforce Tensions. A very apt and topical discussion, especially in South Africa at the moment. Myrah Mashigo Tshabalala has written this book. Get online, get yourself a copy. It's got some great illustrations. It's got some great research into the public service and the problems that the public service are dealing with. Myrah, appreciate your time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, every Monday morning we'll take a look at